Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome once again to Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's online YouTube Sunday service. Today's service is just our regular Sunday family service for December 5th, 2021. And we are coming up on the end of the year. This is our second to the last YouTube service for this month. We'll have a service next week as well, and then there'll be no more services in December, and we'll resume in January. We will be having an in-person service on December 31st for New Year's Eve at 7 p.m. in the temple. And also next week, December 12th, we will be having both YouTube and in-person service. I'll say a little bit more about that at the end in the announcements. So today, we will be having our regular service. So we've already had the Kansho bell calling us to mindfulness, to attention, and then we will have the Vandana Tisarana calling on the Buddha, praising the Buddha's enlightenment and taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And after that, we will have the Sutra, the English version of Juseige called Verses Reaffirming the Vows, and then the Golden Chain of Love, and then I will share a Dharma message with you called Stress and the Holidays. Okay, and then we will have the Metta, the loving kindness meditation, followed by the singing of the Nembutsu, and then some closing words and announcements. So now let's begin our service by putting our hands together and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe. May I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice the noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons, and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe, and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens wondrous flowers rain down upon all the lands. Namon Dabu, Namon Dabu, Namon Dabu, Namon Dabu, Namon Dabu, Namon Dabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Well, welcome once again. And at this time, I'd like to share some thoughts about the Buddha's teaching with you. Today, I'd like to talk about stress and the holidays. So, December is the holiday month. We had Thanksgiving in November, but we have more holidays, I think, more of an intense sort of holiday season when we get to December. So we have Christmas, of course, and then New Year's. There's also other holidays, Hanukkah and so on. And we also have a Buddhist observance called Bodhi Day, which commemorates the Buddha's attainment of enlightenment or a complete awakening. And we will be observing that next Sunday, actually, both in an in-person service here in the temple as well as right here on YouTube. And even though we are Buddhists, most of us kind of enjoy and celebrate Christmas too, by joining in festive activities and family gatherings, and gift giving. But and so all that's very good. As Buddhists, we can kind of enjoy every holiday. Doesn't matter what religion they are. We appreciate and enjoy the sense of joy and life that holidays are full of, and so that's very important and something to be appreciated. But for everyone, whatever your denomination or creed, holidays can be very stressful. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of work. And unfortunately, the pressure at Christmas of gift giving and cooking and all the other, wrapping gifts, all the preparation that people have traditionally done, especially on top of all of our other concerns these days with the pandemic and world condition, all those things, it's really can be very stressful. And we have to really be careful about that. And often, instead of being happy and joyful and festive at the holiday season, many people feel that the holidays are just a time of drudgery. They really dread the coming of the holidays, more worry and so on. Also, sometimes there's other aspects of people become very kind of depressed at the holiday season because, thinking about people who have passed away and so on, and things. Often, our actual experience of the holiday is not as joyful or as ideal as we imagine it should be, and that can cause stress and trauma in our life as well. And then, the week after Christmas is, of course, the New Year celebration, and that can be very labor-intensive too, especially for people for whom New Year's is very important, like Japanese and other Asian traditions. And in many homes and in our temple, we get ready for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with the preparation of many special New Year's foods, and with mochitsuki, the pounding of glutinous rice to make mochi, a vital ingredient in the New Year's soup called zoni, and also to make mochi offerings that go on the altar. Those are called kagami mochi for the Buddhist altar. And then, in normal times, we have the New Year's gatherings here at the temple. We have New Year's services in the temple. We're just going to have the New Year's Eve very short service this year. But everyone enjoys all these very much, of course, but with all the work of preparation can also be stressful. And there's so much to get done. And even with the stress of these activities, after almost 2 years of COVID restraints, however, I think maybe many of us would like to resume those labor-intensive activities anyway. We kind of miss them and look forward to getting back to them. But it's important to be aware of the stress that these holidays can cause us. And thinking about that makes me reflect on all the stress that I notice we all suffer from. And I mean, really, for much of my life I've been aware of that, and I think it's something it really pervades our society. People today are finding themselves under so much stress all the time, and they constantly feel, it's become normal to feel anxiety and worry and fear all the time. And medical studies have shown that stress plays a major role in the ever-increasing rates of heart disease, depression, and cancer in our society, in our country. I'm sure it affects our likelihood to succumb to almost any health issue. The stress really wears down our immune system. Do you feel stressed? Are you constantly thinking about what you have to get done, even when you're supposed to be relaxing or enjoying a meal or spending time with family and friends? You're always thinking, I got to do this, I got to do that, I have this deadline, whatever it is. actually, I think we've forgotten how to relax. And if you're in that situation, you're not alone. If you yourself are not living under stress, you can be sure that your children and grandchildren are, often to the point of serious consequences. Stress is harming the health and well-being of individuals, families, communities, and nations in a serious way. Our blind attachment to always being in control, to getting things done, distracts us from what is true and real in life, makes us focus on material goals and concerns and ignore the spiritual aspect of life, the spiritual core, the fundamental reality of what it means to be a living person. Our obsessive busyness, busyness and business, kind of the same word, and actually business is kind of defines the idea of busyness, but I mean, we're busy all the time. And this deludes us into chronic self-centeredness and prevents us from reflecting on what is truly important in our living. Busy people never stop and reflect on what it means to be a human being, why they are even here, what the meaning of their life is. Tragically, all the stressfulness of modern life has taken away the sweetness of living and has robbed us of the simple joy of just being here, just being alive. And we're all in that boat. We're all in the same situation. We're all busy people. And we've been kind of brainwashed to believe that that's the way we have to be all the time. And we can't let go, There's always something hanging over our heads. So the question I think we have to kind of look into is what is stress really? Through studies of animals in the wild, scientists who've been researching this have determined that stress, of course, is common in nature. It's a common thing. It's a mechanism, really. It's a survival mechanism that kicks in when any creature is faced with dangerous or life-threatening situations. So it is designed by nature to be a temporary survival mechanism. Unfortunately, under the right conditions, stress can become a chronic affliction. When stress becomes chronic, our bodies act as though we're always in mortal danger. We might not think about it this way, but our body thinks it. Our body feels, it's always, everything is, I'm in a constant life-threatening situation. Just because we're thinking, I have this deadline, I need to get that done or that done. So even though the only danger we might actually face is that, we got to get all the items on our to-do list done, we got to get the shopping done or the dishes done or whatever it is, we're feeling this stress which our body interprets as a life-threatening, situation. And when we have this chronic stress, our body focuses all of its energy on getting us out of danger. That's what it's supposed to do. Our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, and we are ready always to run for cover, to run away from the danger. Being in a panic state like this is definitely appropriate, when you're being chased by a lion or something, or if you're in the front lines in a battle or something like that. But it is really not very helpful at all when you're merely late for a meeting or for a deadline. That stress is unnecessary, but we keep in that state of stress all the time because we're always late for something. We always have some deadline or another. Or other things cause that same kind of fear or anxiety response. For example, if you're worried about what other people might think about you, you're worried about the opinions of others. Any one of the many things we find ourselves concerned about. Oh, do I look good enough? I don't look as good as I should look. I'm not tall enough. I'm too heavy. I'm too thin. Whatever it is, we get that chronic stress, and our body thinks that we're in life-threatening situation. In the case of everyday problems, to have a calm and thoughtful mind, That's where Buddhism helps us. But a calm and thoughtful mind, rather than a frightened or panicked mind, is the best and most useful condition to be in. Panic is just no good in most situations. Even worse, when we're in a stress mode, our bodies actually stop regulating our health, you know? They stop the natural healing processes, and they even discontinue the process of digesting food. And if you think about it, it makes sense, you know. Our immune system, our digestive system, all the things that our body does to keep us going and nourished and healthy and so on are extremely important. But you know, if you're in a life-threatening situation, it makes sense that your body says, okay, I'm going to ignore that for a few minutes and deal with this life-threatening situation. This is the most crucial thing right now. So if we're under stress only once in a while, that's fine. You know, if we're in real physical danger, it's fine that our body stops digesting our food, or the immune system, you know, turns down to low for a few minutes, or for you know, an hour or so. It's designed to focus all the attention, all its attention on getting us out of danger, saving our life. After the danger passes, the body's supposed to return to its normal state. But when we're chronically and unnecessarily under stress, as most of us are all the time, our bodies neglect their normal healing and protective duties continually, chronically, and we become much more subject to all kinds of physical illness and mental illness. All kinds of things can afflict us when our body is so busy thinking, you know, we're in a life-threatening situation. It's just not doing what it's normally supposed to do. So we cause that by our, you know, just falling into that trap of thinking that everything is so important. I'm going to, you know, this is a matter of life and death that I get to this meeting on time, or that I get this report done, or that I get my homework done. Whatever it is, you know, we're not meant to live like that. It's very important to realize that. When the Buddha attained enlightenment and began to teach the Dharma to others out of his great compassion, the first thing he taught was that life is full of suffering. And the word he used, the Indian word dukkha, actually is more accurately translated by the word stress. We usually say suffering, that's a traditional translation, but it really is stress and anxiety. So the Buddha taught, you see how serious stress is. It's not just oh yeah, we're under stress, you know, it's just one of those things. Stress is the cause of our real suffering in life. And the Buddha taught that life is full of stress. Then he said that our stress is caused by our habit of getting attached to things that we like or prefer, and avoiding things we don't like, or that we feel repugnant about. So in other words, he was saying that we are judgmental. We have all these ways of defining, of making judgments about things in ourselves or in the world around us. And he taught that it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to live in this stressful situation. There is a cure for stress if we follow the harmonious way of Buddhism, which is the way of non-judgmental thinking, the way of appreciation and gratitude. But it's not easy to give up our judgments, discriminatory thinking. It's not easy to become grateful, to become truly grateful. We are naturally foolish beings, and we are selfish, and we have a habit of seeing others as the cause of our unhappiness. We blame one another. We forget to look inside ourselves, where the real problems always lie. Buddhism is the path of self-reflection, the self-reflection which leads to gratitude and joy. And in the life of Nembutsu, we can discover our true self and true happiness. But if I am a normally stressed out person, how do I live the life of Nembutsu? Of course, it is important to listen to the Dharma, to learn about Buddhism, and benefit from the experiences of other people. That's very important. So it helps to come here to the temple, to attend Dharma talks and classes, and to be part of a temple, a community of people who are seeking this kind of awakening. And of course, the pandemic has made it hard for us to gather for a long time now, but fortunately we have been able to reach out to each other using these technologies, Zoom and YouTube and so on, and that's good. But even without the physical or online gathering, we can always hear the Dharma through the words Namo Amida Butsu. Really any words that express the Buddha's teaching in this profound way. Namo Amida Butsu is one example, one very important example of that. But so when we say Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, okay, we are actually hearing Amida. Amida is measureless life, the oneness of life, the transcendent oneness of all things, calling compassionately to us, saying, let go of all your attachments and awaken to life as it truly is. Awaken to your true life. So Namo itself means, Indian word, it means to bow. To let go. Bow is kind of to surrender, to let go of our ego, you know? To let go of our selfish, judgmental mind and realize that we always have been embraced by great compassion. Life itself is great compassion. We're always embraced by that. To hear this calling voice of the Buddha is to return to our true self, to return to what it means to be a human being. The Buddha's voice calls us to always reflect on the meaning of our life. What does reflection itself mean? What does it mean to reflect? I think, you know, one understanding that I have of reflection, of self-reflection, is that whatever condition of life or situation that I find myself in, whatever the reality, whatever the karmic conditions we say, you know, are, I have to ask myself some questions. I have to and these questions are also reminders. I have to say, who am I really? Who am I really? Am I just this person who's being hindered by problems that other people caused? Or am I a person who is in this situation because of you know, karmic conditions that go back to the beginning of time that have allowed me to be in this place at this time? And so knowing that I am in this situation, I have to ask that, how, you know, here I am in this situation. Why am I here? What am I meant to do in this situation? And then I can also ask the question, where am I going? You know, which is also to say, what can I do with what I have in this present situation, whatever it is, to make life better, more true and real and joyful and happy for myself and for those around me? That's a way of looking at, that's the way I look at reflection, self-reflection. So, you know, it might seem silly to think that just some thoughts, reflections, or just these words, Namo Amida Butsu, can have any effect on your life. Maybe they won't. But you might find that in saying those simple words, Namo Amida Butsu, measureless compassion, which we call Amida Buddha, boundless life, the oneness of life, whatever we want to call it, will begin to become real for you. And Namo Amida Butsu will become more to you than mere words. Every time you think on it, just stop what you're doing for a few seconds. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and say, I am grateful for this wonderful life I have received as a gift at this present moment. Namo Amida Butsu. Let me say that again. Anytime we think, we think of it. Anytime we're saying we're in the throes of the troubles of life, stop for a moment, right? Stop for a moment. Just a few seconds. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and say to yourself, and say right now, I am grateful for this wonderful life I have received as a gift. In this present moment. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And that's a very simple yet profound thing. Because if I ask myself, am I grateful for my life? Am I grateful for what I receive from others? I have to answer honestly, no, I'm not grateful. I'm very selfish. I normally only think of myself, and I'm not grateful at all. Namo Amida Butsu. Because that's where gratitude begins, to realize I'm not grateful. and then things change. They really change. That's what Namo Amida Butsu is. It's the transformation we experience when we begin to see things correctly. Actually, in this life, we can't overcome suffering or stress, not completely. It's a natural part of life, obviously, but of course we can try, and we should try to live calmly and harmoniously, to enjoy and appreciate life, to act in ways that reduce stress. Yes, but there will always be things that are beyond our control, and that's the crucial thing. We're gonna have things that we can stress about. We can't be perfect, yet boundless life embraces us just as we are, whether we're stressful or calm. And in living this life, this we call Nembutsu life, the life of self-reflection from which true appreciation arises, stress is okay too. We can just accept it. We can learn from stress as well as from any other experience, and accepting our suffering in this way, to see it as just as I am, transforms that stress into something else, into something positive and creative and healing. So in a way, the life of Nembutsu is the path of trusting life to take us, to take me where I need to go, and to be where I need to be. Foolish beings such as we are, we're always making judgments. We have the discriminatory mind, the discriminating mind. So everything that happens, we make judgments about it. That's good, that's bad, I don't like this, I don't want this, I want that, right? Yet, whether something makes me happy or unhappy, whether something is pleasant or unpleasant, good or bad, painful or difficult, we're always going to be making those judgments. But under the illumination of Amida's light, the light of great compassion, the wisdom that we perceive, that we are transformed by, when we realize the boundless life that surrounds us, that embraces us, everything becomes good. And we can always be grateful, even for our stress. So I would like to wish everyone a very happy and low-stress holiday season, as well as a new year filled with joy, reflection, and peace. Thank you very much for listening to me today, and let's conclude by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Namo
Well, thank you very much for participating in today's YouTube Sunday service for Kahului Hongwanji for this day of December 5th, 2021. As I said at the beginning, we will be having only one more YouTube service this month. That will be for next week, December 12th. We will have our Bodhi Day service. Bodhi Day commemorates the enlightenment of the Buddha, the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. And we will also have an in-person service on that day as well. And we will also be observing our family gratitude remembrance on that day as well. So normally we do that on the fourth Sunday, but the end of this, the last 2 Sundays of this month, we will be taking a vacation, so we will have no more services. So after that, our next service will be December 31st, which will be in person only. New Year's Eve service at 7 p.m. Okay, so we will be resuming more services in person and YouTube in January, but for now, for the rest of this year, that's the schedule. Okay, so we will. I'd also like to remind you about our classes. We do have classes that are being offered through Zoom, online classes, and that will be, there is a Tuesday evening class. It meets twice a month, and then also a weekly Thursday morning Dharma discussion. If you are interested in any of those, either of those, please give us a call or email me, and I will be able to give you some further information. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us today, and let's conclude our service now by putting our hands together in Kansho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.